Hello and welcome to the Art of the Oracle. Thank you so much for being here. I'm delighted to bring to you the long-awaited 3-card pick-a-card reading. I don't think I've got one of these pick-a-card readings out for probably a month, so thank you for your patience. It's been very interesting energy, and this 3-card pick-a-card reading, I feel like, I know that we're already in the first week of August, but this is about the energies of August. They feel very fiery, not just because, we're heading into Leo season and all the astrological shifts, but it just feels like the planet, like something is transforming, and I feel like we're burning off old, outdated programs really that are going on. And I just feel like September is going to be a whole different world, so to speak, and something about what we're letting go of. So I hope that the information that we bring forth in the 3-card pick-a-card reading is all about that, the changes that are happening for us, and just to bring more insight into what exactly that means for each one of you. So each one, I have set up here a different tarot deck, so you could be drawn in by that. But the other thing that I wanted to bring in is archetype. So I felt very strongly that there is like a pattern or a theme that's probably been running through your life that is either letting go or something that's asking for your awareness, or some new theme that is coming in. So only you'll know what that is. So I'm gonna give this one for reading number 1. And then I have 2 more here. I'm actually feeling, it's very interesting, I'm feeling like both of these are for reading number 2. And then lastly, for reading number 3, please, I have also, and I have 3 for reading number 3. That's very interesting. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to reveal those 2 now to help guide you in for the reading, so you can decide by the cards, the tarot cards, and the archetypes. So the first one that's coming out for reading number 1 is card number, if you're drawn in by numbers, is card number 28, and it is the shadow for reading number 1. And then I'm only going to reveal one of these 2, and I'm going to take the bottom one, and that is card 31, the heart, and this is the tarot deck that is going to be revealed. And here I feel it's the top one, and this is for reading number 3, and it's card 4, the eternal child. So sit with your energy, sit with the images. If you're drawn to 1, 2, or all 3, if you're drawn to a particular reading, there is probably some information in there that is guiding you into the reading. And so just follow that intuitive nudge, trust your instincts, and we'll be right back with some information for each one of the readings. Hello, reading number 1. This is your reading. So we're starting off with Kim Kranz. The selves section is where we find the shadow element. And as you can see here, we have white, we have black, we have something in between. And it's all sitting amongst something that feels somewhat unclear. And I think that this is the reason why this is coming out, is because maybe there's been an aspect within your world that has felt very unclear. And you may be a black and white person, meaning that you like things to be well defined. And you kind of sit in the middle of this space where it's either this way or that way, and there's no blurred lines. But this is a card that is asking you to dive into the things that are not quite so clear, or things that maybe you don't like to look at. And I'm going to put your cards to the side. We'll bring those out at the end. And then I'm going to read a little bit from the guidebook here. I opened it up to your page. And what Kim Kranz is asking us to do is to look within the thing that is uncertain and to dive into the thing that maybe is a little scary, a little uncertain, because there's something in there that we've probably hidden away. Maybe it's the key to something. Maybe it's a trauma. Maybe it's a new gift. And we have it stored in that dark place, waiting for this time right now. So I'm going to read a little bit of what it says. Although every card in the archetype deck has a shadow potential, this card asks us to delve into the qualities of the shadow itself. We often think that the shadow can be purified, illuminated, and made right through effort and achievement. However, it is typically the case that our lofty pursuits of ascension and perfectionism is the very source of the shadow itself. Because in those opportunities, it's like, where are we going? Are we looking for something other than where we are? And we all know, if you've studied Buddhism or read different sacred texts, it's there is only one space. And it's, how are you perceiving that space? How are you working within that space? And it's funny that it talks about perfectionism, because I'm literally staring at all the books and the cards that are being revealed here today. And I needed to straighten it up, because I like things in order as well. I love patterns and a variety of different things, but there has to be order within chaos. So in this card, it's asking you to find the support for your deep inner work and move towards the shadow with patience and compassion. So it's asking you to look at the very thing that you perhaps don't want to look at. It's like there's something in there, and there's a reason why we're not wanting to stay in that spot or to look at it, or we're pushing. When we push against something, it creates an energetic bond and a tension. But it's when we open something up and allow the air around it and the energy around it that we are allowed to absorb whatever needs and then let go, right? It's like energy it doesn't dissipate because we've closed the door. It just keeps it closed, and sometimes, like a volcano, it just builds and builds and builds till it erupts. So it's asking you to take a look at something. Now, one of the things I was drawn to green energy, this clear energy in the middle, and purple. And to me, it was to help us to work from the heart in a higher perspective, meaning that the purity of the heart in a way that allows our intuition to come through. So I was guided to Chumpi stones. I went to Peru in 2023, and I brought back these stones, which are sacred stones from the land there. And each stone has carvings in it that denotes like a number, related to a number. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in this stone, this is the condor, which again is around higher wisdom and awareness. So there is something, as I was just describing, that, it's about taking the information from your higher wisdom and perspective and the heart and merging and transforming something here for you today. So let's dive into the cards and see what we get. So the first thing is we're going to dive into the journey. And I was drawn to this card because the journey is about, where are you? Where are you on your journey in your universe? So if you step out of the shadow or go within the shadow, there's a place that we can find within, without. It's kind of all the same. It's about a different perspective. So in the wisdom card, I love this. I love reading oracle cards and tarot cards, because there generally will be a theme that runs through. This one with the Chumpi stone is asking you to fly like the condor. And the condor is about higher levels of awareness. It's asking you to step back from that thing that is clouding your mind, the shadow, that there's something within it, but sometimes you can't because you're so much into it. And there is wisdom in there. In the pearl, in the shell, it starts out with an irritation. It's really literally an irritation to the mollusks or the clam or whatever it is that's living inside the shell. And what it does is it doesn't look at it as something that shouldn't be there. It takes itself and transforms and polishes over time that little irritant until it becomes the purity and the prize within it. Meaning that it could have started out as something that was really, that it really was something unwanted and not part of the other thing. But it took the wisdom, it took the experience, and it turned it into something beautiful. And I think that there's something in this reading today that is either recognizing what you have done, your shadow work that you have done, and how you have turned it into something better by going, and I don't mean better like that's bad and this is good, but meaning transforming it into something that you find beauty in, and seeing the higher perspective of this journey that you've been on. So we're going to go to the wisdom of the trees, and we're going to ask, what additional information? Okay, juniper. Okay, wow. So as you can see here, we have juniper. This is like a portal opening. This is around seeing the higher wisdom and guidance within. I'm going to go to the guidebook within this. The juniper trees are highly revered, and I'm going to, let me see. It's so funny because I love these cards, but I don't sit and read the book, and maybe I should, because the writer of this book, Jane Struthers, and the creator of this oracle is so brilliant. And it's about the wisdom in trees. I feel personally that trees are these living beings that are here not only to help us sustain life, but there's a lot of wisdom within the tree itself. And in the journey, the juniper, it's about these portals and being able to go in and see the other side of something, right? And so if we look at like spiritual realms or where people have crossed over, it seems to be the darker side. And it could be telling you that there is, an aspect of you that can tap into other spiritual realms. So there's a spirit of the tree, and then there's a message. And this message is, it's like opening a door and giving you an opportunity to recognize within you that you have the ability to not only transform things, these shadow elements, but to see and to speak and to communicate through the shadow into other realms. So right way up, this is an excellent time to investigate any form of psychic work that you're feeling drawn to, provided that you are acting with the best of intentions for everyone concerned and that you ensure that you are physically protected. So, okay, so what I love about this reading is I have no idea exactly where we're going, because the higher wisdom, the shadows, these feel like opposite sides, right? When you're from high above, you see everything clearly. When you're in the shadows and you're down into the darkness, things are not that clear. And somewhere within the kind of irritation of what life has created for you, has created an opportunity within you. And this is kind of what I'm intuitively feeling, is that you have held your, like a higher awareness, or you have held yourself in high regard, meaning that you have gone through life, even though you've had difficult experiences, that you've gone through it with grace. And so you have become a better, more well-equipped person to be able to see things very clearly in different. So this is what's wrapping up here for us for August, and the energies that are coming through. And it's asking you, is there something that is calling you to a deeper communication? And it may not be to past loved ones, but it might. But I'm also, and I'm getting a ringing in my ear as I'm saying this, like it's a connection to the cosmic beings, light beings that are sprinkling down into the planet. Very, very exciting for you, reading number 1. So I'm also drawn to, okay, so I'm going to go to the Black Moon Astrology and see what for reading number 1 to clarify what is some of this. Wow. Okay. So what's coming out here is, I'm going to take the top 2 cards, which is Leo, I will, and this Mercury, the mind. So if you're drawn to numbers, we have 17. This is interesting because we're going into this Leo season here in August. And this is this fiery energy, all about doing the things that create passion, doing the things that drive you forward. You're not somebody to sit on the sidelines and watch things happen. You're not somebody who, or if you have been, it's asking you to kind of step outside of that, to not be that person that sits on the sidelines and waits. And there's a lot of golden energy. I also feel like it could be something of a lucky time. The sign, it says, when Leo comes out, expect to be the center of something and be recognized. So interestingly, the pearl, as you can see this wisdom card opening up, and when the pearl is revealed, there's usually a lot of love, adoration, awe around it, how beautiful it is, right? So there's a lot of attention giving to that. And then you have another focused energy asking you to look within. All of these things I feel like are focused energy. So that is an aspect of what's going on here. It says your talents are about to be singled out for some sort of special recognition. And I think that that is the true message that is coming out here, is that when we started it, this reading around, being able to see from a higher perspective, but also you kind of being in the middle of this maybe shadow aspect. And I'm seeing, it's interesting that this is white and this is white and this is white. It's like there's a purity of something about where you've been coming forward now, and you will receive the recognition around that. And then we have this Mercury, this beautiful green energy here, and this is Thoth here in the card here, which is around, the education, the ability. He is the holder, the keeper of understanding and higher wisdom and teachings, right? So I'm going to go to the guidebook here. It says, the god of Mercury and his counterparts also have very much to do with magic and medicine. I think Mercury gets a little bit of a bad rap because it goes into retrograde, which I'm not sure where it is right now, and things are unclear. And it's interesting because when things are unclear, sometimes we go into our head or our mind to try to figure out what's going on. But this is kind of asking you to step in more to a knowing. It's interesting that I read that it has very much to do with magic and medicine. It rules the eyes, the brains, the nerves, and the fingers and toes, the digits, like the way. And it's interesting because the fingers and toes have sensors that relate to every aspect of the body. So that tells me that there's a universal awareness coming to your body as well. And your senses are being opened up in an interesting way. With the number 3, I feel like it's you have this and that, and a third element is coming in to help you become more aware of something going on in your world. Now, I bought some crystals, and I don't remember the company that I bought this from, but they had these crystal cards, which gives you information. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the deck, and whatever comes out is the possibly, I'm asking for an element, a crystal that can kind of help you through this path that you're going on, this new awareness, this opening up, this ability to tap into higher realms, change. Like, this is 3 elements as well. There was the irritant, the container, and then you, or the person that helped transform it. So let's find out what energy is most suited for you. This is kyanite. Interesting. So that's what it, and it may be both of these. That's why they stuck together. So kyanite is a stone that creates pathways in our thought that can move us through difficulties with grace. It stimulates our ability to transcend old patterns and to develop more empowered ways of being. I love that for you. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to be. And then we have labradorite. It's a companion for change, helping you to release fears and insecurities and trust your inner magic, which was what this thought, can you see all this? Yeah. This Thoth energy is around the mind. He's an alchemist as well. He's got this, what looks like a chalice of some sort, right? Like he's working a potion of some sort. This brings a sense of excitement and adventure while also being highly protective against negativity. So if that speaks to you, you can, kyanite is a blue stone, and labradorite is a stone that has almost like a rainbow light within it, if you're unfamiliar with those stones. Okay, so let's put those aside. That's very exciting. And we're gonna go into, lastly, this reading is getting very long, but I'm gonna bring out a spirit animal for you. What is the energy of the animal? That is, oh, I love that. This is the moth spirit, which I love. Moth is drawn to the light. It's, as the butterfly is out in the daylight, moth comes out in the darkness. I love that for you. And it is card number 39. I'm going to let you take a peek at this a little bit closer. Yeah, and this looks like golden moth energy, right? Which is going around here with this golden energy of Leo. So I feel like the energy is coming forward, and it's like there's something in the shadows, there's something in the darkness that is being illuminated. We're asking you to remember something that you've hidden within the darkness. So let's ask for final messages, please, for reading number 1. Okay, so the first card is Justice. This is a major arcana, meaning that right here at the end of August is a major shift for you, right? The Justice card is bringing balance to that which you have put in. So it's almost like, I feel like it's the Karma card. It's the card that is showing you that, so like the sword is up. It's like what you have put out into the world is now coming back into balance, and you're going to see like the balancing of what is out there. And then we have the Page of Cups. This is a beautiful Page of Cups energy here. The Page of Cups brings in kind of like a lightheartedness. And I love that that's right here under this Wisdom card. It's bringing about, it's funny because this Justice is talking about this darkness and this shadow and this surrendering into what is, because this natural balancing is here. And it's a gift for you. It's not something to be feared. And the Page of Cups, underneath this really lighthearted card, he has the chalice here with this little fish on it. And I've told many people that have been watching, if you've been watching for the last year, any of my readings, the fish reminds me of my grandmother as something coming into being. It's a new gift coming out. And this one is going to bring some beautiful lighthearted energy. It's going to be something that opens up. And it's interesting that he's riding in this very black boat. I don't even know, isn't that interesting? That's a black boat. And I'm noticing a lot of these dark shadows, and he's in the water, which is all about your emotional energy, and something new is coming to be. So let's look and see. Tell us more about these spiritual realms. Okay, so this spiritual realm, I got a whole grouping, and I'm going to take the top and the bottom. and see what the energy is around these two cards. It's interesting because this is around balance. And I think that it's asking you to balance, because the Wands energy is around your creativity, your fire, and it's right here between these two cards. Now, the Knight is somebody who really moves towards something. And as you can see this too, he's on the boat here, and he's been balancing things as best he could under really difficult situations. And that's kind of what this is bringing in, is like there's this figure eights, or the infinity symbol is in green, and it's over his heart here, which tells me that you've been really working from a pure place to keep everything in balance. And now it's time. There's a great movement in a new direction where you're going to see these challenges in the way you balanced yourself. And this feels like a celebration, even though she's got a little bit of an angry look on her face. I'm not sure. That's a little confusing to me right now. But it looks like, you know, it looks like a party. It looks like the horse is all geared up for a party. And that's what it feels like. It feels like there's an awareness of the way that you've had to really navigate a lot of difficult situations. And now you're going to have the energy that you need to move in a new direction. And it's interesting that I'm finding it here underneath this realms and the I will being noticed. So there could be an opportunity. I feel like I need a card here. Oh, interesting. So I'm going to grab these tea leaves and ask for clarification here with this. I have a little dog. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, so yeah, so it's telling you that you need a break, or actually I think it's giving you a break from what is going on. And it's interesting because this tulip card came out here which is saying that you have great passion. That's what the clarification around this card. It's about your passion and moving forward. And because you've had to overcome so many things, you could have an opportunity to really rest and relax. So lastly, let's wrap up the reading with a final message, please, for reading number 1. What is the final message here? Okay. Now, these are coming out upside down. So it's, to me, when a card comes out upside down, it's kind of like the lessening of something, meaning that it's not fully there yet, but you have the King of Cups, which is this beautiful awareness of your heart-spaced energy and who you are, and very aware of the importance of you doing everything from a heart-based place. And if you're looking for an opportunity to work with somebody, you have, again, this very passionate energy coming out with the Queen of Wands, somebody who really knows and understands her true power and her magic. I love that coming under this. And coming at it from a very heart-centered place, meaning that there's not ego that is taken over and you're doing it because you need people to see you. No, you're doing it for the love of something that you're doing. And if you're not there yet, there's this great passion card coming out. So it's either telling me that there's an opportunity for you to unite within yourself and find something that is really going to bring these pathways together for you to create, for you to build something in a new way, for you to close a chapter in your life that may have felt like it was difficult, because it is asking you to surrender, and there is a balancing coming of all of this energy. But it could be this or that there is somebody that's coming into your life that is going to bring a big heart opening awareness that is going to create even more passion in your world to help you feel that groundedness. As a fire sign, it's a very go, 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 very doing energy. And the cups energy is a very passionate energy as well, but it's also bringing an emotional, maybe a water side to it, right? And too much water can put out the fire. So there is a balancing that needs to happen. So make sure that you don't get too wrapped up in emotions to put out some of the passionate things that you have forward. So if you're, if you've met somebody that you feel like you're so wrapped up in that he is putting out your flame, then take a step back and take a vacation from that. But I really feel like it's a positive. Whatever this balancing, this feminine and masculine energy that's coming together, I feel like it's coming together because it's going to create this ability for you to see something in a completely different way and to open up something for you as you head into September. So be aware of what's going on. Perhaps kyanite, labradorite is something that you can bring in to help protect as these changes are going through and to help stimulate the release of anything that's ready to let go. So thank you, reading number 1. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you are interested in a private reading, reach out, follow the descriptions into my email link and send me an email and we can set up a reading through Zoom. Until next time, have a beautiful day. Bye now. All right, reading number 2. This is for you. Now, you're drawn here to the Light Seer's Tarot, but we're going to put this to the side while we take a peek at what you have going on here. Oh, it's very interesting because I thought there were only 2 of these and there looks like there are 3. The first one here is the Heart, which is card number 31. And this is the first card as she breaks it down in her book as places, which I think that's very relevant, right? Is that I think it's very important for you to understand where your heart is. And you may be one of these people that are really very sensitive. That's kind of what I'm getting. This looks like the nest and a protective energy, this beautiful, loving energy. And this looks like 2 rings. So, and then there are 2 people here in the boat. So I feel like there's some sort of element, either of something coming together, something around your heart is being illuminated, either that you have an awareness of the attachments that you have, or what is really important to you. So let's dive more into the cards and see if they give us additional information. So we have the River, and it's interesting that this is card number 34. We're still in places, and there's this illumination and the shadow, which looks like a horse here. And the horse is all about energy, but because I feel like it's a reflection of it, it's not something that is very powerful necessarily right now. But I love that we have more water energy here about things flowing and moving. And then we have the comic, the comedian, which is card number 26. And this is around aspects of you and your personality. So I think that your heart is really tied up in something very emotional right now. And this is very interesting around this rainbow energy around the comics. So I think we're going to have to dive into more cards to find out what information is, but I wanted to give you some information from the book on the card, around the reading around the heart here. And it's the center, the home, the throne. And it could be that there's an aspect of something that is very personal to you that feels like it's expanding. The most precious throne in the galaxy is awaiting for you to return. The seat of the heart is often reclaimed by nature and things that really inspire you. The card encourages us to move past the layers of life's tangles and knots and enter the wild and sacred space of the self. So, that's interesting because you have this very deep image here. It's like hidden amongst, all of this, or protected is really what I'm feeling. So I feel like maybe you've been protecting yourself and there's still this pink energy that's coming, but it's asking you to move a little bit out of this protective space and become, I think it says, the layers that have kind of entangled you or kept you kind of hidden behind something are asking you to move forward. And when you see, in my mind, what's coming up here with this this funny, weird image of this cat and the comic and this rainbow energy, and there's rainbow energy around here. It's almost like what I'm hearing is it's like a bridge. to open up your heart, laugh more, everything lightens up, and then things will flow in a different way. That's kind of what I'm hearing for you, reading number 2 around this. Now, since we're on moving in the flow, we're going to bring out a card from the journey for pile number 2, please. Can you give us more information about, whoa. Okay, so this card like flew up in the sky, and it's related to the inner child. And it's interesting that we still have, and then we have play, and I'm going to take this boundaries card as well. And isn't that interesting? So there's also a theme of 3 things going on here. So when we're looking at the energies here of our heart can get tangled up, as it said in the guidebook, within things that, you know, create kind of a comic loop. Things where you're like, I can't believe that's happening again. But when things like that do happen, it's related to the inner child. There is a lot of interesting image here around being playful. So you may very well be a playful person, but there's all of this beautiful rainbow energy. So I feel like in the month of August, there is something here that's asking you to release some things that have tied you up from the past, play more, tap into this inner child. I love that part of the vision, the what we're seeing here in this inner child card is related to play and boundaries. So there could have been something like part of what's going on with you, also where the river is, interestingly enough, it feels like part of the things that you have been kind of tied up your heart a little bit is something that really emotionally hurt you. And it's where somebody didn't have boundaries. It could have been like a sexual assault, or it could have been just mean people, or people in your family that didn't have clear boundaries. And so they trampled all over people. And then therefore you end up closing yourself down slightly because you're like, I don't want to be like that, or I'm not going, you know, I don't want to hurt other people the way I was hurt as a child. But there's a lot of playful energy within all of these cards that are coming out. So it's asking you to move from this protective space and put yourself out there a little bit more. Flow, allow yourself to laugh, to tap in more to this inner child, to let go of some of these things, let the river, so when we dam up things and we hold on to old hurts, old pains, old, you know, disappointments, old, just whatever that was from our past, that's what it does. It dams up the river, and everything in water gets kind of stagnant and mucky when it's not allowed to flow. When it's allowed to flow, things change, they move, they play. You can still have the boundaries, which I think that's what this card is saying. It's very important for you to keep those boundaries intact moving forward. So let's find out, what is a tree? Whoa, there's, oh my gosh, this one came out in reading number 1 as well. And this is around the spiritual realms and being able to tap into higher wisdom and guidance. Now, what I was feeling from reading number 1 is that it could be that there are ancestors and things that you're tapping into, because it almost feels like this door that you've shut down. Possibly that there is some closing of something that created a boundary or a separation between you and the other realms. That's what I'm kind of feeling from this. And I love that, see, it's showing this pathway forward. So if you've closed the door to the gifts that are within, that it's something like your heart is being called to go back into and allow yourself to flow once again into what you had as a child. So did you have it as a child have the ability to, did you have, you know, these friends that nobody else saw but you? Could you see, you know, your past grandma, or did people come to you? Did energies come to you? Because it's important to have boundaries when this is in your space, but what I'm hearing is don't close the door so you get none of this thing, because it's part of who you are. It's part of your gifts and abilities. And I think it's going to be very important for you as you move into September. So we're going to go to an astrology card and ask what in astrology is coming forward for reading number 2. What do we need to know? Wow. Okay, so we have the 5th house, which is card number 29, which 2 and 9 is 11, if that means anything to you, around creativity. And it's very interesting. Like these are the masks that, you know, are associated with the play of being in performance. And I feel like, and there's also this clown. So all these to me feel like creepy images. There's another kind of creepy image. So I feel like because there's like a lightning that's going through here, in the 5th house of creativity, it's like something was severed within your ability, because it kind of scared you off, and that there is something around that is kind of keeping. I'm going to go to the guidebook and see what the 5th house of creativity really represents to the person who and you may be into astrology and completely understand that the 5th house represents your creativity, but it could be that that's what I'm feeling. Like I'm seeing this not so much in this really loving, playful energy, but almost as if something was severed and it has stopped that creative, whatever that flow, that natural, playful flow around you. And it says, interestingly, this is a quote by Pablo Picasso here in the book, every child is an artist. The problem is staying an artist when we grow up. Isn't that interesting? So I was drawn to that message for a reason. And I think that it's because something kind of took you away from this thing that you were loving doing, and you felt very, even if maybe you were a comic, maybe this is literal, and you know, like to make people laugh, but whatever it is, I feel like you've set and closed an aspect of you out, you know, away from what is naturally creative about you, because something happened where boundaries were put up and the door was shut to some things. And it's part of your path to have gone through that and to now open the door again, because in September something is coming. So in August, things are going to be brought to your attention to remind you of the things that created joy and this playfulness. The first line in the book says, be happy, give yourself the gift of happiness. This is the fun house, literally. And you have the comic, play, inner child, all this playfulness that is wanting to come out for you. And it says you can expect some sort of completion or accomplishment if you've been in a project. But I feel like it's funny because it says the 5th house is the natural house position for the sign of Leo, which is around this fiery energy, and came out in reading number 1. And it's asking you to kind of bring that fire out again, right? Into something from the past that I feel like maybe that you had, or perhaps that you are an artist right now, and there's something new that I feel like is coming in. It's telling you that the 5th house, despite these creepy images that I'm seeing here, it's saying the 5th house, isn't it interesting that I'm trying to put the word heart in here? The 5th heart, the 5th house of creativity. I feel like your heart is really tied up into something creative, and the flow of this river, and something about all this like creative energy around rainbow energy and playful energy is really coming out in you right now. And it's telling you that you can find the joy and self-expression with promise of a jubilant return back to your childhood, to this inner child awareness. And it's and I just read all is possible now. So in the first reading, I grabbed a Chumpi stone. So is there a Chumpi stone that would like to come out as well for us? I feel like it's this one. And this is one. These are I picked these up in Peru. And this interesting is about moving forward. So what I'm getting from this is is the energy of the hummingbird, which is a very playful bird itself, right? Flitting around from thing to thing to thing. And I kind of feel like it goes over here with some of the information around the comic and the inner child, asking you to go back and to find joy in one of my cards. And so we're going to go ahead and grab this card around the animal spirit. But in one of the guidebooks, it's all about joy. That's what the hummingbird is. It's all about bringing joy back in. So can we get something else? Wombat spirit, yeah. So isn't that interesting? When we started off here with the heart, it was talking about the heart, like, you know, being the home, being where you're comfortable at, being where you feel safe. And it's asking you to be at home where you are and flow with the river and back into this area of being the inner child that you are. So I'm going to go to the light seers for you and ask for additional information here for reading number 2. What do we need to know? So I'm going to go ahead and take these, because look at that. So the fire energy of the King of Wands is tapping back into that creative energy that we were seeing here. Right? And then, yeah, and this is the knight coming in with this is about moving towards the thing that you love creatively. It's about a new opportunity coming forward for you to really, the knights are about moving, and the cups energy is about bringing love back into something. And the King of Wands is about ultimate creativity and having the ability and the willingness to be able to move into that aspect. I'm going to grab, I have these beautiful cards, and they're all about crystals. I'm going to ask for a crystal that can help you move into this kind of creative energy. So let's see what we get. Ruby tourmaline. It relieves a restless or troubled mind and creates a calm feeling that boosts your confidence. It attracts love in the physical and spiritual world and provides assurance that it is safe for you to love. So there's something really tapped in here to your heart-based energy, because this pink energy is coming back in here. And I feel like maybe that you have kind of covered over things with laughter and, you know, making everybody laugh and pretending that there's not, like, your heart hasn't been wounded on some level, because it's really asking you to be playful again in a way that brings out that creativity for you. So let's go back into the cards and see what else wants to come out for you. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's a new beginning. That's what it feels like. Tapping in here with this inner child. It's all about beginning again. And these cards were upside down, but the reason why I think that they're upside down is because this is about this heart opening ability. Is that what's happening here in the month of August is you letting go of some of these things. And there's like a new awareness around the way that your heart has kind of been trapped, and, you know, and so there's an opportunity for you to begin again, because we also have the Empress, which is following your intuition, very creative card. She's the ultimate creator. And this is a major aspect going through your life right now. I also have the Star card, which is like a wish card. It's like, what is your heart really wishing for? And then lastly, we have this energy. Let's see if I can bring some of these down a little bit this is around communication and some news coming in for you. So I feel like either you're going to have a new idea and it's going to take you back into that creative zone, or there's going to be some new information that's going to really come in and light you up, because there could possibly be a wish fulfilled that is happening right now, a dream, a new connection. So I'm also making this correlation between this card number 17 and the juniper, about being able to tap into higher spiritual realms. And, you know, maybe your new psychic abilities are going to help open up your heart in a new way. And so there's a lot of creativity, a lot of love, and a lot of playfulness for you reading number 2. So if something in the past has kept you closed down, and because the comic is right here in the center, I kind of feel like that's some aspect of you now where you have kind of become the comedian, so to speak, or there's an aspect of something that you cover up with laughter. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's something that really your heart wants to be opened up to begin again and tap into this inner child. So this is your reading, pile number 2. Thank you so much for being here. I truly enjoyed this reading for you. If you would like a private reading, these are free readings, of course, but I do have openings on my calendar. So just reach out through the email and we can work together on what works for you. And we do something over Zoom. So until next time, have a beautiful day. Bye now. All right, reading number 3. This is for you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited to read for you. You've chosen Crow Tarot, and we will bring these out at the end of the reading for clarification on everything. And what we're beginning with here is the eternal child. And I love this rainbow energy here. And what I'm seeing here in the eternal child is I'm feeling a nurturing energy. And this is card number 4. I've got the guidebook here, so I'm going to take a look at that. It's part of the self, right? We have mother, we have father, and then we have the eternal child as the 4th aspect of our archetype within us. So there's something related to you and your feelings of your childhood. I feel like it was a very nurturing, and something about your childhood really gave you great self-esteem. And so, but there's an aspect here that I'm noticing that everything, so I think that you kind of had an encouraging childhood, but there is a little bit of a shadow element that I'm feeling here. And I'm going to read what it says, because there's an aspect of magic that really feels right to me, is that this darkness or this shadow isn't like necessarily bad, but it's an energy of not everything is as it appears on the surface, despite the fact that you probably had a very nurturing upbringing. So I'm going to read a little bit about what it says in the guidebook. It says, the eternal child, naturally popular and maybe even famous, this eternal child literally shines from it within. And that's why I was feeling, I think, that there was a very nurturing, something that gave you a lot of confidence and self-esteem when you were younger. It reminds us of what is possible, what is magical about the preciousness of what life is. It's telling us here the eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life, and is radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else. It struggles being bound to any, like an aging body, any of the constraints which makes it feel less than the amazingness that it is. It wants to get rid of rules or responsibilities and all of those type of things. It wants to return. If that's something that you have felt like you have been constrained in, the eternal child could possibly be, we're going to take a look at all the other cards, be asking for a return to this. Or you are already feeling this aspect, because I feel like there is something part of you. So we have 3 cards here. We have the Sustainer, this beautiful purple energy like what we have out here. And this is interesting because this is a Chumpi stone, and then we have the Temple. This Chumpi stone was left from the previous reading, and this is about moving forward with joy. It's interesting because this is the hummingbird. So there's some aspect that I'm going to keep this out here for you, because there's an aspect, an element about a return to joy. And that was something that it said here in the guidebook. It says it wants and it struggles. It is a radiant and fearless seeker of joy above all else. And that is probably the reason why this one came out. So the other thing that we have, so these are both aspects of the self. And the Sustainer here, this is a clump of clay in the middle of it. And it's interesting that this is a very creative image, and it has a box around it. And the thing about creativity is no creator wants to be literally like boxed in. one of the things that we appreciate is the freedom to be able to create. This card, the Sustainer, it says, is the second archetype in the trio of existence. And it works behind the scenes, tending to the tasks of life. They culminate gardens. They take care of everything, basically. That's what it said, behind the scenes. They have a natural inclination to nourish others and to preserve, like, resources and things. And if this inner child about you was always the one, like, wanting to get back to joy, and you have found yourself also maybe in a relationship, that's kind of what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like either this is an aspect of you, or this is somebody in your life that you're wanting the joy. You have somebody that feels like they have to take care of everything, or maybe that's part of your family or part of your upbringing. And there's like a dualistic thing that's happening in your world right now. The Sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist change. And it's interesting that this one, above all else, feels the need, like, to have things. I'm going to go back to that one, what it said here, because 4 is the aspect in my mind. This is around stability. And this is saying that it kind of takes care of everything. It's the stable one. So this could be an aspect of you, but it struggles being bound to anything that, it says, to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. The eternal child wants to nix all rules and responsibilities. And this is the peacemaker, the upholder, and he's the sustainer, works behind the scenes, tending to all those little details. And this is saying that this person, or this aspect, and this could, maybe you're a Gemini, and these are 2 aspects of yourself that have been competing. And there's something here about bringing 2 things together, because we have 2 hands here, 2 hands here, and two hands here. Something about working together, creating something. And I feel like part of what needs to happen here is like this place of comfort, of acknowledgement, of higher wisdom, because the temple is a place. The temple is, these are aspects of people, but this is a place to go. This is where you go for solace. And what, what is a temple to us, right? Where is, I'm struggling to find the temple, interestingly enough. Yeah, here it is. It's the sanctuary. So there's something that I feel like there's some sort of duality happening within your world, either aspects of yourself, but I almost feel like this is a separate person that you're with, and you're kind of fighting against each other. And all of these hands are coming together to create something. In the Temple card, perhaps there is room on your altar for something new, something surprising. Offer it up to the heavens. And I think that's the last line that she writes in here. It says, visiting the temple might be as simple as stepping into the forest, or being with somebody very special, or traveling into like your meditation, or a space that's just for you. It's a call for you to re-examine what you pay homage to and what you reject. And I think that this is some sort of key to that. Like, your upbringing was very nurturing around something, and you felt, like it was all about you, perhaps. And then this other person was not. And so, because everything in their world was chaotic and nothing was cared for, they are the person who cares for everything. They make sure that they understand, they keep everything close. And there is something about bringing these 2 things together. It could be a child that you have in your world. It could be a relationship that you're in. But there is something really, truly asking you, or telling you, really, that it's possible for everybody to come forward and to come together on something. So let's find out through the journey okay. So the card of courage is coming out here. And I love that it's surrounded by green, and then there's a light here. in the Courage card, it's telling me that there's something that you're facing that's very difficult, especially here in this month of August. And perhaps that's why you're here at the channel, is like you're seeking information. And I just saw the clarity here, and there's a rainbow light energy within this clear quartz crystal. And as you can see, there are 2 points here, but they're joined together. They are the same thing. It's just this is an aspect showing this side, and this is an aspect showing this side. And what I feel like is moving, and maybe you can't see that. Yeah. So what I'm feeling like is the rainbow light energy that I'm feeling around this light of courage here, is that there's a bridging of something that's coming to be in your world in September that is going to bring a new lightness and awareness to what's been going on here, that we have aspects that I feel like there's a lot of love and togetherness and creativity going on here, but there's some magic in this and in this and in this that can happen, and I feel like is meant to happen, and to have courage to be the thing, or to sugar maple. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull that out. But this is, so it's interesting that this card looks like fall energy, and it's bringing in what I feel like is sweetness to the situation, to have courage to bring in the sweetness into this situation that feels, what I'm feeling like is a little bit challenging, or has been challenging. And as we're going from August, which is this very fiery energy, into September, showing this energy of letting go, right? Of changing. That's what this is all about. That's what these were talking about, is letting go of some of the constraints of what has been, what your child self has been preserving, because it was part of your identity, is what I'm feeling. But have the courage to let some things go, and to taste the sweetness of the reason that this is together, the temple, the ability to find something, or to create the space. That's what I'm feeling, to have the courage to create the space that is needed to nurture everything. The sugar, this is perfect. The sugar, so I've gone to the guidebook here, and the sugar maple, which literally, I don't think this card has ever come out before, is around versatility, around being adaptable. It says, are you getting stuck in a rut in some area of your life? If so, do your best to become more versatile and flexible in your ideas and attitudes. Learn to embrace change wholeheartedly, even if you do not know what it'll lead to. That's what the courage is all about. That's what it's asking you to do. It's asking you to tap in to this childhood patterning that has been part of your world. And, you know, these two feel like they're fighting each other. And it's interesting that they're basically the same. They're basically the same. It's like two energies that have been patterned by their childhood, that have created the foundation of who they are right now. And that there is a great need for this respectful place of coming together, and to recognizing that you're the same. And you think that you're completely different, but you're not. You're so much the same that it's just asking you just to kind of be a little bit flexible, and to try to see from a different perspective. Okay, so what is the energy from animal spirit here for us today in reading number 3? Okay, 2 of them came out here. Bear. All right, so it's asking you to take time out from something. And I feel like it's possibly, you know, it's 9. This is a 9 year. So something is coming to completion here. And the bear energy knows that there is a time in its life where it just fills itself up, and then it retreats and it digests all that. And it's kind of something that I think that's going to happen. Because you have this card here that is 2, which is saying that the life is speeding up. And I think all of this is coming out, asking you to be versatile, because I feel like this is a great partnership. I really do. I feel like like you're the same, but you see each other's differences instead of each other's similarities. And things are speeding up, and like I feel like you each have what the other person doesn't, and that you will be so good together, that you'll be so good together to create exactly what you need to move forward. Okay, it is literally pouring out here today, and I'm going to go to Black Moon Astrology. So I know a little bit about astrology. So for reading number 3, what is the message here? Is there an astrology card here? Maybe not. They're kind of feeling very chunky right now. So I'm going to open them up and see if I can. They're very stiff. I have small hands, so it's hard for me a lot of times to hold the cards in an upright fashion because they're just too big. So I always turn them around. So oh my gosh, this is so funny. This came out in reading, and I feel like, okay, so I feel like there's a couple of cards coming out here. One, Leo energy. We're literally going to be in this Leo energy in the month of August, and that's what's going on here. There's this fiery energy, this need to create, this need to move forward. Then we literally have the element of fire coming out here, right? And this again is like mimicking here this temple energy. And then we have Saturn return. So I'm going to go to the guidebook to find out more information about what all this means. But we have 17, 37, and 50. This creates 8, 10, and 5. 5's about change. 5's about being able to change and having the courage to do that, to let some things go. I think that's what Saturn return is all about. And this is about when you create this beautiful space and you have a desire, like you have the inner light, you have this fiery energy already within you. And there's this ball of energy. It's so interesting because this is fire and this feels like the earth element. It is literally like with fire, this burns into like being. When you have pottery, you have to bring it under fire to be able to create stability within a piece. And so if this isn't another person and this is an aspect of you, it's asking you to take this fire energy, whether it's you or whether you have another person, and apply this inner fire that you have to help sustain what is going on within this person or within this aspect. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to look up what this Saturn return is all about. There's a quote by Andy Warhol that says, they always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. So let me read that again. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. And that's around having the courage here to bring the sugar in around this sugar maple and be versatile. And it's interesting that these is exactly what I see here in this energy in the leaves. You've got this yellow, this fiery energy to be able to transmute. This is a successful outcome for this. And this, in this Saturn return, is the Lord of Karma that shatters all illusion. It takes approximately 29 years for Saturn to orbit the sun. So the first Saturn return happens around the age of 29 and marks a period where childish things must be put away. And that's exactly what this was saying is like, it's time, like the things that you're holding on to that were patterning from your childhood needs to be put away. It says, if you hold on to things with no basis in reality, your suffering will grow and depression may follow. You cannot escape the truth-seeking energy. You must face it. So the second Saturn return occurs around 60 when you become aware of your own mortality. You may become keenly aware that you may not have enough time left to achieve your goals. Often there is a paring away of what is not essential. But for those of you who have not acted wisely, that'll be hard to do. So during this second phase of this Saturn return, whether you're in the first phase or the second phase, there are things that are coming back. It's like the karma card here. And it says, how is Saturn showing you in your life the things that you have not taken care of or that you haven't put away? Because it's really the planet of truth. And it's about the correction, the natural correction of where you've been and what's been going on. And I feel like all of this is kind of saying the exact same thing here. Now, in the first two readings, I drew a card. These are crystal information cards, and I love them. I'm going to ask for, is there a crystal that can help you, crystalline energy, which is what I was feeling from this here about the clarity of things. What does reading number 3 need? Ruby tourmaline. Isn't that interesting? Because that came out in the second reading as well, which is hard to do. I mean, I guess I'm really drawn to this. Relieves a restless or troubled mind and creates a calm feeling that boosts self-confidence, attracts love in the physical and spiritual world, and provides assurance that it's safe to love. So is there an aspect where, you know, these things you've lost the love in something? All right, so let's go to the Crow Tarot and wrap up your reading here and find out what are the last... can you give us clarification about all this and what needs to happen here? I feel like that's one. Let's see. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'm just going to take that batch of cards. I feel like also maybe these over here. This is a lot of cards, so we're going to see. So the first card that came out here, oh, interestingly, so that's upside down, but it's the Star. This is around being able to, like, where are your dreams and wishes? What is it, like the, you know, song was wishing upon a star? There is an opportunity for you to have everything that you desire. Now, this card did come out in reverse, which means that this is here, like right now. This dream is here, but it's like you're not seeing it, I feel like, for what, this is a major shift. This is a major arcana. This is has something to do with you, like, having the desire, the courage to do what you truly know needs to be done to take care of this. Because I feel like this was meant to be, this situation here, this temple. Now, I'm kind of feeling like these cards are not all meant for you. It's so funny. I'm feeling like this one. Yep, okay. This is about being able to rest for a minute within the way you're thinking, right? To give it a rest. And I feel like also that there is an energy here that in these two cards. So what we have here is we have the Ace of Wands, which again harkens back to this creativity, this eternal flame. But this is around a new awareness of something. And it's interesting because he's kind of feels like he's looking back here to the past. So I'm going to say, as you kind of revisit some of these, you know, the ability to have this thing that you really desire, and to set down some of this thoughts that may be keeping you separated, is really what I'm seeing here with this card. That there's an opportunity for a new beginning. The Eight of Swords is around the awareness that you're trapping yourself amongst thoughts. And let's go to the bottom of the deck. And on the bottom of the deck here is the Fool, which is, this is the first card in the Major Arcana, and around a new beginning, and around letting go. And so I'm feeling like what this is telling us here is to let go of all of this overthinking that's keeping you blocked. It's keeping you kind of trapped in. The Swords energy is truly around that, overthinking. And the Wands energy, so perhaps these are, I'm kind of feeling like there's two different energies going on here. Like perhaps this energy relates to this and this energy relates to this. And there's sometimes this emotional side kind of gets trapped in this ball of clay, and something needs to burn something away here so it can be what it was meant to be. And this Fool is about new beginnings. So can we clarify this Eight of Swords, please? And the Fool card. Okay, you saw that, right? A distant friend is thinking of you. So, okay, we're going to ask for more around that. I think that there's, and then we have the Ring. A marriage will take place either romantic or in business. So there's something that, so I'm not taking all of these as literal, but what I'm feeling like, because the big words here are saying dog far away, is that there's some sort of companionship which you have created distance, or somebody from the past that, because he is looking to the past, and it's like you're not going to see it coming, or maybe there's an aspect of this relationship that you're ready to receive again. Maybe this is something that you had as a child, and childhood's coming back. It says a marriage will take place, but what I'm seeing here is really how important that this connection is, this golden connection, because the love is there. That's why this Ruby Tourmaline card is coming out, is because when you put down some of the constraints that has held you in a place, that has not allowed you to be more creative or more willing to see the purity and differences of people and these relationships, and seeing, like, this almost feels like a soulmate. This feels like, you know, the opposite of the same thing. It just feels like that's what I think a soulmate really is somebody who is really, sometimes you're polar opposite, but you have this great, like, truth that is really, when you come together, it creates this sacred space. And I feel like there is something. So if this does not relate, because this feels like a relationship reading for you, pile number 3. If this doesn't relate, I totally understand. Just throw away what doesn't radiate with you and keep what's left. So I'm going to take, we have months of the year, and I'm going to ask for, because either it's, yeah, July. So this could be something that is going to come to be by next year. But I feel like something like the seeds or something is being set, something is being cleaned up in the month of August, something is happening that's creating something in the month of September, and then possibly this reuniting into a more like temple, maybe marriage, by July could be happening. And I love that this rainbow light is coming in. So thank you so much for being here. Reading number 3. I hope this resonated with you. If you like what you heard or saw, give me a thumbs up. And if you're interested in a personal reading where we can tap in directly to your energy instead of being, you know, a culmination of energies, this will resonate with whoever it was meant to resonate with. But in a private reading, you can ask questions. I do it over Zoom. It's a really wonderful, safe space for you to get some personal information. So until next time, thank you for being here and have an amazing day. Bye now.